thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Burn! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
It is indeed the Brian Snow Show on this manic, fabulous Monday edition. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Monday edition of the Brian Snow Show, the latest and the greatest, the best midday sports extravaganza that you will ever watch and listen to. A welcome to all of our audio networks, including the ones in Chicago, Baltimore, Maryland, Phoenix, Arizona, and in the region across the nation and around the world. And welcome to those of you watching on CSTV as well as YouTube. If you're new to my channel on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before Labor Day. That's our target, to bring 291 more subscribers in the next month. The channel's already monetized thanks to y'all who listen, thanks to y'all who tune into the shows. And what I'm going to try to do beginning in October is stream shows live 24/7. So the video and audio networks are synced, they are together, and they are ready to go. All right. This is going to be a very, very difficult opening, and this is a total audible because I didn't get a chance to do it Thursday. I left the air. I signed off Thursday morning after Harlette Washington, very, very dear friend and someone who I consider a mom to me, gave me the devastating news that my brother and my friend, Alvin Washington Jr., was in his last days dealing with congestive heart failure. He passed away Sunday morning, and that's when I saw the tributes roll in. I did a personal TikTok video, and I've done a couple of them actually. And I'll repeat something that I said in an earlier video, and it's so true. The toughest thing that you can say to a person, for a person, and about a person is goodbye. And this is one of the toughest goodbyes I've ever had to do. Outside of saying goodbye to my dad and saying goodbye to my daughter. I met Alvin in the fall of 1995 as my wife at the time, Chantel, and I have moved to Chicago. Back to Chicago because I'm from there, from North Carolina. I met Alvin at Chicago State University, and we instantly clicked. We instantly clicked. We shared a lot of the same thoughts when it comes to the world, when it comes to sports, when it comes to people. And I can tell you, he is one of the people that taught me to stay calm in the midst of turmoil and to stay calm in the midst of turbulence, which has always been the toughest thing for me to do. He lent his voice to so many schools, so many high schools, so many, so many small colleges, Indiana Northwest, Triton College, 2 schools I'm very familiar with because I've voiced Indiana Northwest for 3 years. And it was in the midst of us going through some personal turbulence at the time. Alvin and I, for a while, had a falling out, didn't speak to each other. But I am blessed of this, that we reconnected in 2018 at Ames Field. We were both covering the Wolves. They were playing Lake Central. I heard his voice. He heard mine. And it was so good that day in 2018 when we reconnected just to give him a hug and say, I love you, brother. Just to hear his voice and how excited he gets when the kids are doing something special. That was special to me because a lot of people say that about me and they try to say it in jest and I don't listen because it's my style. It's who I am. He's a South Sider to his heart. Yes, he was born in New Orleans and raised in New Orleans, but when he came to the South Side, he called it home. And as I mentioned, he lent his voice to so many schools, so many projects, so many things. And he lent his services to that also. Biggs Radio Network had a gem, an absolute jewel with him, a hard worker, an incredible person when it came to learning about not just survival, but learning how to thrive and learning how to make things work for you when they don't work for you. He taught me a lot, and that's putting it lightly. He taught me a hell of a lot. And like I said, the hardest lesson I've had to learn from him and from watching him is to still personally be at peace in the times of turbulence. I have yet to learn that lesson. And he taught it to me. My dad taught it to me. My wife taught it to me. And admittedly, I'm still learning it. But he was one of the first to teach that to me, to be calm in the face of turbulence. That's a hard thing to do. That's a very hard thing to do. One of the first stadiums we conquered together was Soldier Field. And that was 1996, and that was the first prep bowl we called together. We called 10 of them. We called 10 prep bowls together. The last one I did at Soldier Field was 2009, and he wasn't with me physically because he was doing other projects, but it felt weird being alone in the box at Soldier Field and not having my first official partner with me. He became my partner on the air in 1996 when our sports show at Chicago State University expanded to an hour and later 2 hours. He was there. He was the first one in the studio. He was the last one to leave. A true professional to his heart. And personally, he touched a lot of lives, especially mine. When we did sports section from my parents' house in 2005, he was there. He was always there. He was on time. He was making sure that we were organized. And man, when the microphone was turned on and the lights came on, we had so much fun. Myself and Victor and so many other people who came through at the time. Vince Brown in the morning. Unfortunately, it's so unfortunate. And I was a fan of his work. I was totally a fan of his work. I still am. I will forever be a fan of his work. Forever. It's just tough knowing what he went through physically. He went through something that I defeated in a year, and yet he couldn't defeat in 12 years. According to his mom, he had fought it the last 10, 12 years of his life, and that's congestive heart failure. I've been through it. I know a lot of people who've been through it, and it's the toughest thing to beat. It is. It is the absolute toughest thing to beat. And as I sit here on the verge of tears, wishing I could say something to him that would just make him feel better. The last time we ever talked was through Facebook Messenger, and I saw his face, and he was just so weak. He was physically weak. I wanted to hear his voice. I wanted him to make me laugh. Because if there's one thing that Alvin did for me whenever I was in the midst of turbulence, he made me laugh. He made me laugh at life. He made me laugh at just stupid things that just made everything fun. And that's what I'll take from my 27-year friendship with Alvin. He made everything fun. He made a whole bunch of things. He made a whole lot of things fun. He made life fun. We conquered Soldier Field. We conquered Comiskey Park, New Comiskey Park. The first public league baseball championship that we did was at Wrigley Field in 1998, and it was a tape delay broadcast. I nearly ran out of tape, and we got to and through the 11th inning. It was Simeon and Clemente, and Simeon won on a walk-off inside the park home run. I believe the fellow who hit that home run was Anthony Mitchell, and he flew around the bases. Alvin was the PA announcer that afternoon, and he was celebrating on the public address mic. I was celebrating on the play-by-play mic, and it was just glorious. From the first time he and I teamed up on the mic, it was glorious, and I knew I found my partner. I'll keep saying it until the cows come home, and I'll keep saying it. I'll keep saying it until I can't say it anymore, and that would take a lot. That's going to take a lot, okay? Because I just beat pancreatic cancer, in remission since February, and when I got this news on Thursday, to say that I was completely devastated would be a horrible understatement. And Harlette, I know and hope that you're watching, Mrs. Dinah Biggs. I hope that you're watching and listening as well. I sent this link to a lot of people, and I hope they are all tuning in as I do this. I know it's a total audible, but I want to send some love to my friend, my late friend, and I can't even believe I'm saying the word late when it comes to him. And for me, this is a message for men to continue to go to the doctor, continue to get checked, continue to do everything you need to do to physically and health-wise get in order. My wife asked me a very poignant question when I was reading all the tributes, and I read some of the tributes. It really didn't hit me until yesterday afternoon that he is gone. My wife was in her office, and I went to her desk and I bawled. I sobbed. I've been sobbing since Thursday. Okay? Y'all know I'm very emotional. You know, people tell me, you're a man, you're not supposed to be emotional. That's bullshit. I'm very emotional, and I don't care. I have sobbed since Thursday. His spirit held on for as long as it could. His spirit held on for as long as it could, man. And he would always tell me, you have to keep moving forward. Hell, that's what my dad taught me. But to have him repeat it, it meant that much more. And Jody said to me yesterday when I was thinking my friend is gone, you know, just when I lost my other dearest friend, Corey Miggins, in 2019, and I broke down in tears. I broke down. I absolutely broke down. Just like I'm on the verge of breaking down now. Just like I'm on the verge of breaking down now. Everything that I do from now on for this year will be in his honor. And as I mentioned, the first stadium that we conquered together was Soldier Field for the 96 Prep Bowl. It was the Dunbar Mighty Men and the Mount Carmel Caravan. I'll never forget it. We had a full crew. We had a full lunch because they brought a lot of lunch up in the box. I'll never forget it. They brought They filled up all the containers. They filled they filled up all the containers with hot dogs and Polish and hamburgers and all kinds of stuff. And we attacked it at halftime, one at a time. Me, Kevin, Alvin, and a couple of others we had with us. Just flat out attacked it. But that's him. Whenever he had a project given to him, he didn't waste time. He attacked it in full force. I learned that from him as well. When we teamed up and started covering games in Northwest Indiana, and we were just looking for clients that would, that would give us the chance to broadcast their games. You know, John Chalesnik, a very dear friend of mine, called me a pioneer for getting into internet broadcasting and using it. And I know we got stations over the air that pick up our shows, and I'm proud of that. But Alvin was ahead of his time when one day in 1998, when a Real Player was still alive. Anybody remember that? Anybody remember Real Player? That's how we got on the air over the internet. He discovered it. I did the editing, and I did the publicizing. And he told me, he said, just dive in. He always said, just dive in. Well, I dove in. I dove into internet broadcasting, and I want to say that it was 2005. I can honestly say it was 2005 when we did our first official live broadcast over the internet over our station, where we felt like we made it, because we both cut our teeth at Chicago State. And I taught him the play-by-play rules. He listened to me and I to him. And we both worked on each other's game. We both worked on it. We both worked on each other's game. DJ Lucky Luck in the house. How are you, brother? Yeah, we're going right to the top, and we're taking the memory of Alvin with us. I mean, honestly, Alvin and I worked on each other's play-by-play game. I mean, we wanted to be the best in the business. I still hold on to that dream, and now I'm holding on to it for him. I'm holding on to it for him. It's just so tough. It's so tough. And as I said, the toughest thing you can say to a friend, about a friend, and for a friend is goodbye. I don't want to say goodbye yet, but now I have to. But I will promise you this, Alvin. I, along with many others that know you, that love you, and that now miss you. It's not just the hope that's alive. It's a dream that's alive. And something we had talked about way back in 1996 was getting a SWAC game of the week. Well, then, dog, that dream just may become a reality. And should it become a reality, I'm going to bust my ass to get sponsors, to get funding, and every trip that we take, no matter where we go, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Jackson, Mississippi, anywhere around the Southwest Athletic Conference, anywhere around there, Houston, Texas, any and everywhere. We will do it for the honor of Snowman Multimedia, for those who have stuck with us. And we're doing this for you. This was something we had talked about in the Chicago State Library in 1996. in getting this done. Now is the time that we get it done. Now is the time that we take this, we run with it, we go with it. I put a proposal. I'm going to put a proposal in front of the group that gave me the green light to carry the games because I'm thinking Westwood One type deal. I'm thinking Westwood One type deal for a SWAC game of the week. And then the two conferences that we wanted to cover were the Mideastern Athletic Conference and the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Those are the two that we want. Now, I am eventually going to move west with my family, but at the same time, I'm going to be a commuting sumbitch because we're going to have the funding in place within a year to make this happen. Shoo, fly. Get out of here. But this is for you, my friend. Something we had talked about in 1996, I believe is finally going to happen. And once we get the contract laid in front of us, once we get the stations that want to carry our game of the week, even if it's an internet station, and I'm going to put a plea out there right now. If you're an internet radio station and you want to carry two great shows, let me know. Let me know. I'll make an appeal to Biggs Radio. If there is any way possible in Alvin's honor that I can run old recordings of his show, let me know. Let me know. I'll run it from 7 to 10 here, and then I'll come on right after him. It just seems right to ask that. It just seems like it's necessary. Because to the haters, like it or not, he left a legacy. Big time. There's a lot of projects in Chicago and Northwest Indiana that have his fingerprints all over it. And you know something? I'm proud. I'm proud and I'm happy. I'm happy for him that he took control of a situation and ran with it. That was the best news I ever got. I got a buddy, Tim McKinney, who's celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Tim. Who sent me Alvin's final play-by-play broadcast. I immediately saved it to my computer. And I believe sometime tomorrow, I'm going to air it in full, audio and video. I'm going to air it in full. Because it's right. It's right to do. As I mentioned, we conquered Soldier Field together. We conquered Comiskey Park, Wrigley Field, the United Center, DePaul, Northwestern, Illinois, Assembly Hall, Valparaiso, and the Athletics Recreation Center. In that whole area, we did it all. We both did a game in Kansas City. It was 2 different years, but we both did a game in Kansas City. He at the Municipal Auditorium, me at Kemper Arena. I just miss my friend. I just miss my friend. And this hour, and I think it's going to be an hour. This hour is for you, Alvin. All the championship games, all the state tournament games, all the football, all the high school football we did. Bruh, I can't put into enough words what you have meant to me No, hell with that. What you mean to me, your influence on me, your lessons that you've taught me, and everything. I can't say thank you enough. I can't say I miss you enough. I can't say I'm glad we reconnected in 2018 enough. I can't say it enough, man. I can't say it enough. What I wouldn't give to have one conversation with him where we just say, you're my brother and I love you. I can't say enough and won't ever be able to say enough what you mean to me. And in the coming days, in the coming broadcasts, when I finally get to celebrate season 25 in the booth, at the table, at the diamond, wherever we go with the game of the week. With the game of the week, because I will deliver this deal. Signed, sealed, and delivered. I will deliver this deal in your honor. I know this is something we had talked about and something you wanted to happen for a long time. And I know our professionalism eventually would have gotten to him. I just wish that we had one final game together. I know your spirit is always going to be with me, and I appreciate that more than you know. More than you know. More than you know, your spirit will be with me. And I appreciate you, Alvin. I love you, brother. I miss you. And I know you're going to be moving and grooving and shaking and baking from above. I'll have more on this tribute after this.
The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you talk, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
You have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
.33 after the hour. Thank you for joining us on Monday. I'm at Starbucks in Edinburgh, Indiana. Did the morning show from McDonald's across the way. And I want to thank both places for hosting me today. This is the last one I'm going to do on the road. I was kind of forced to do this because we had no power at the house. There is power there now, but my wife is at work. So we're going to make this work also. It's a tribute day. As most of you know, my buddy, my partner, my friend, and my brother, Alvin Washington, passed away yesterday. I'm going to share a few stories here in a total audible of what my brother Cole Johnson had planned. The first game the first prep bowl, I want to share this one. Now, let me share this one. In 2000, we conquered the United Center in a big way. We got clearance to broadcast there at the UC. We did it live over our network, and there were 20,000 fans at the UC. 20,002. If I still have that box score, I will take a picture of it and put it on my community tab. But man, it was so surreal that we were in the house that Jordan built in front of 20,000 people. That was 2000. Westinghouse and Whitney Young for the Public League Championship, and it was at the United Center. We couldn't believe it because the first Public League Championship we did featured Whitney Young and a fellow we like to call Quentin Richardson, and that was at the UIC Pavilion. There was a full house. But 20,000 at the United Center. Ray Clay was the public address announcer. They turned off the house lights and gave both teams a spotlight introduction with the familiar music. You want to talk about having chills going up and down your spine? That was it. To be in the United Center with the house lights off, the video scoreboard rolling along, and it was a Public League Championship game. Largest crowd ever in the state of Illinois for a high school basketball game. 20,002. And we were there for it. We were there for it. Another place that Alvin and I conquered was Welsh Ryan Arena at Northwestern University. And we did the City Suburban Showdown when it was held every year at Northwestern. Every year. We did the game at the City Suburban Showdown with Westinghouse and let me see if I can remember this correctly. I want to say Downers Grove North. I want to say it was Downers Grove North. And it was 2003 when we did that game. It was 2003. And it went double overtime because Downers Grove North just simply wouldn't quit and wiped out a 14-point deficit in 2.5 minutes. Where have I heard that before? And the overtime starts and Westinghouse just held the ball and Vinny and I just sat there and talked. Chris Head plops in front of us. And one of the craziest things that happened during that game, Craig Franklin, who later played at Chicago State, Craig Franklin drove right down the lane, got hacked, and I'm marking the foul on my score sheet, and somehow I see the referee. I look up at the last second, I see the referee coming toward the scores table and waving his arm saying, "Count the basket." I look at Alvin and he looks at me and I said, "Franklin got the basket." And all of a sudden Alvin's voice goes up a couple of octaves and he goes, "They give him the basket?" And to this day, I don't know how the hell he scored that basket. I don't know how the hell he scored that. That was crazy. But it was fun covering games with him. I mentioned Soldier Field. I mentioned Welsh Ryan. The first ever Chicago Public League championship game that Alvin and I did together was 1998 at the UIC Pavilion. He tag teamed with me to do the pregame show, and it was tape delayed at the time. It was tape delayed. He teamed up with me to do the pregame show. He did the public address, and it was Martin Luther King High School in Whitney Young. And some of the players I remember, Imari Sawyer for King, Quentin Richardson, Dennis Gates. There are a couple of other people on that team. I think Najee Beckles was on that team too. I think. I'll have to go back and look it up. That was the first one we did together, and there was a fellow there by the name of Eric Collins, another dear friend I've known since '98, who did the sports channel call, or the Fox Sports call, rather. That was one of the most incredible times that we shared. And like I said before, and I will continue to say, Alvin, I'll never forget you for those times. And thank you. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being my partner in radio and later on in video. Thank you for the United Center. Thank you for the many times we covered games at Soldier Field, Wrigley Field, Comiskey Park. Doesn't matter the venue. I'm proud to have called you a friend. I'm proud to have called you a brother. I am just so proud that we shared all the games that we shared together. And it was totally unbelievable, everything that was going on. Whenever turbulence happened, he was one of my first calls. Always. He always was there. And if he smelled something fishy that was going on with the situation, he would calm me down and he'll go, let me investigate it and see what happens. And so, salute to you. To a friend, to a brother, and to a man who was just on the verge of turning 51. 51. It's crazy to think all of that and congestive heart failure, something I fought, a couple times, would take him away. It's not right and it's not fair. That would take him away. Never thought I would say this aloud, that would take him away. It's tough. When you lose someone this close to you, and like I said, we were close for 27 years. I'll say it again. There was a time that we fell out, but we made back up. We reconnected, and I'm so happy we did. I'm just so happy we did. I'll have some more funny stories after this.
The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Hey y'all, Snowman here. Catch me, Cole Johnson, Wise El Jefe, Vicalah, and the rest of the usual suspects and a few unusual suspects as we bring you 2 hours of the best sports talk you will ever watch and listen to. It's called Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Now on at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific on CSTV and CSTVnow.com. Join us, won't you?
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
I don't want to grow up. I'm basically a man-child. 2005 Burning Man. I put a single Mitsubishi 170-watt panel on the roof of my F-250, and I killed the batteries within like 15 minutes of the first time turning them on. So that's when I first got into solar. I was blown away by the customer service at Battleborn.
We want them to be happy with our product because in the long run, they're the ones who are out there using it.
When you used to buy something American, like a car or something you knew was built really well, that's what I think of with Battleborn.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show. Yeah.
45 after the hour. And down the stretch we come. And this, what's turned out to be a tribute Monday to my fallen friend, Alvin Washington, who lost his dad to the same thing, congestive heart failure. And this one is for Harlette Washington. I mean, the woman has been a warrior, losing both the men in her life to the same thing. I cannot say thank you enough, Mrs. Washington, for reconnecting us one final time. Oh, he couldn't respond to what I said, and I jokingly said, "Man, what are you doing in there?" And he couldn't respond because he was so weak. Boy, I've been there. Days after my surgery, I was weaker than a kitten. I was weaker than a kitten for about a year. So I understand. I understand. When I got the message, I was devastated. But I also started remembering a lot of the fun times we had together. Boy, we had some crazy fun times. We had some crazy fun times on either catching the train to a location or driving to a location. Anything. Anything. Every time we had a chance to hang out, we did. And I'll never forget in 1999 when they opened the ESPN zone and we were in there for a meeting. I came home from Columbus, Ohio. I was living in Columbus, Ohio at the time. And I got home, had the meeting, stayed there most of the night, and then called a bus and went back to Columbus. Boy, I think we ordered one of everything on the menu. I think we ordered one of everything on the menu. I really think we did. But it was always a blast with him. I think if there's one thing that I will always remember about Alvin, he made everything fun. He made everything positive. He put a smile on your face even when you didn't want to smile. And believe me, there were days I didn't want to smile, but him being there and making some of the jokes that he made, you couldn't help but laugh. You couldn't help it. I will take that and many, many, many other memories with me, sir. I mean, hell, we took in a Blackhawks game at the United Center. We had the brats. How did he put it? We had the brats. We had the brew. And he really got into it, and I love him for this. There was a near fight, and all I hear Alvin is going, "Boo!" But I gotta leave y'all with this. When we did our sports show at Chicago State, we did it for television and for radio. We figured out the simulcast, and one of the segments that I will always take with me is our What the Hell segment. Let me explain. We would search, I mean this from the heart, we would search for the craziest nicknames, the craziest team nicknames that you would ever see, Man, I think for about 4 years, we were on for 6 years. We did the show for 6 years. And then I had some turbulence in my life and I had to leave. We did the show for 6 years. And man, some of the nicknames that we would find would just crack us up. And I remember one morning, because he was also a radio DJ on a local station in Chicago. I'll never forget this. When he sent me an air check, he taped an air check and sent it to me on a cassette tape. Y'all remember cassette tapes? I certainly do. He sent me an air check on a cassette tape and he said, "Listen to this. I know you'll enjoy it." So I popped it in. I was on my way to scout a venue for a possible assignment. So I took off. I put my headset on and I was damn near asleep, and he was going to a break. Um, and I think it went like this. He said, quote, "Now coming up after this quick pause for the cause, we got my girl Faith Evans plus." And then when he paused right there, I woke up and I knew he was gonna say something crazy. And then he goes, "We'll try to answer the burning question. What the hell is a yellow jacket?" I lost it. I lost it. I lost it. I'm on the train dying because he took a segment that we loved dearly and he put it on his radio show. I want to reenact that for him. That's one of our favorite pieces that we ever did, ever. And I want to bring that back for him. I want to reenact that for him. I want to do so much in his honor, but not just for his honor, for his family and my family. And I will say this to you, Alvin. Aside of the fact that I love you and I miss you, I am glad that you got the chance to meet the woman who would become my wife, that you met at the time, Jody Reese. And I saw the look on your face and I saw the smile that you gave me before we went to set up and you set up for the game. And I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you, Alvin, for everything. Thank you for everything that you did for Triton, for Indiana Northwest, for me, for Tim McKinney, for the PBA when it was alive and we played at the Kroc Center. You did the play-by-play, I did the PA announcing. For the connections we both made, the game, the countless games we did together at Chicago State. I mean, it was I'll say it again, the countless games we did together at Chicago State. That's where we cut our teeth, man. That's where we got started. That is where we got started. And I'm messaging Tim McKinney right now because I want to pick up the mantle at Triton for him. And though I'm far away, I want to find a way to get it. He sent me his last 2 games that he called before he passed away, and I'm going to air them both. If I get the okay, I will air them both on my radio network. And I'll air it on my YouTube channel also. I just want to get permission to broadcast. And this has been the toughest show I've had, one of the toughest shows I've had to do, and one of the toughest ways for me to say goodbye to a friend. But Alvin, I don't want you to worry. You are no longer in pain. You're no longer suffering from congestive heart failure, and you are finally at rest. And I will make you a promise. I feel that I owe you something. And what I want to do for you is pick up the mantle for you, calling games for Triton and Indiana Northwest or whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. There's going to be 2 vehicles in my household soon, and I want to make money doing what I love to do. I don't care what it takes. I don't care. I want to pick up the mantle for you and use it to help my family. But, man, I'm going to miss you terribly. Every day, I'm going to miss you. I mean that from the heart, sir. I mean that from the heart. And I don't want this to be goodbye. I want this to be see you later. But it can't be, because I'm not going to see you later. I'm not going to see you at all. And this is heartbreaking to me. But I will figure out, my family will help me figure out what we need to do to honor you and keep everything positive and keep everything going forward. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to figure it out. So, goodbye, my friend. I love you. I miss you. You are my brother. You are my friend. You are my partner. And if I can lay my hand, if I can lay my hands on any game that we did together, I will find a way to get them and air them for you in your honor. Like I said, I don't know how, but I'll find a way. Goodbye, my friend. I salute you, and I love you. God bless y'all. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for tuning into The Brian Snow Show, where sports is the base, life and fun are the results.